The trait approach looks at what are the certain characteristics or attributes as you as a person that you can possess to differentiate yourself as a leader from a follower. And research shows that there are certain characteristics that lead to a more successful leader. However, you don't necessarily have to have all of these in order to be, a leader. They might help you, but research has shown that you can develop leaders despite not having all of these, I would say, traits. But when they are all present, they just boost and help a person to become more of a leader. So a good leader has good emotional intelligence, so he can recognize the emotions of others, his or her emotions, and they are able to incorporate them in their communication with other people. So if other people are angry, they're able to recognize that they're angry and able to acknowledge that anger and talk about it. They have good communication skills. So they have a vision. They can really tell people what that vision is and in simple language, right? Out of the big 5 personality traits, they are more conscientious. They're hard workers. They're open to new experiences. So they're not closed to anything that they're not used to. They have more emotion stability, so they are in check with their emotions. They are not very moody. They're extroverted, so they respond well to stimulation and to others, and they like to meet people, and they're agreeable. So they really, not that they agree with others, but they are able to listen to other people and to show empathy and not just shut them up. So these are the ones that we talked about were the positive traits. Other traits have been called dark traits, and they're negatively associated with leadership. And I think part of it is why we talk about these traits is if we possess them, then these dark traits, maybe we can try to, de-emphasize them or try to realize that these are not positive traits for leadership, like narcissism, being self-centered. Self-centered is not a good thing. Leaders are not self-centered. They are all about making sure that others can achieve the organization's objectives as well as their own objectives. And they're more charismatic and passionate. It's not about them. As I said, my previous head of the department was amazing. She would ask me, one time I wanted to resign, she would ask me, what can I do in order to keep you? So it's not about her for herself, but what can she do to help me? And we'll talk about this as a servant-oriented type of behavior in which you show empathy to others. You want to show them how you can help them. They're not Machiavellian, or they have low levels of Machiavellianism, which means what? Machiavellianism means that the ends, or what? The ends justify the means. I always forget. That's the idea behind it, is that as long as we're getting to the end that we want, and we can achieve that with any means. And research shows that good leaders are not Machiavellian in nature. They are, because it is more, I would say, unethical, and the research shows that better leaders tend to be ethical. Finally, they are very low on psychopathy. So people who are in psychopathy really lack remorse or guilt, and that's not a good thing. You should always be in tune with your behaviors and whether they cause harm to others. Okay. So one of the takeaways from this trait theory is leadership traits are linked to the emergence of leadership, and that we should cultivate these positive traits if we are aware of them, and the dark traits should be avoided. And it's important to have a holistic view of all of these traits. Let's take this example. The leader at Joe's organization believes that all organizations overstate their expenses in order to pay less income tax. What trait is the leader exhibiting? In this case, it's Machiavellianism. It's not psychopathy. Extroversion. Extroversion is a positive. Criminal intent is not one of the types of traits. Narcissism is just loving yourself, and psychopathy is just a lack of concern for others. So it is Machiavellianism.